How's it going, everybody? Back at it again with another video. I'm thinking this might be my kind of new little spot to make these videos. Granted, I have to make them outside, so it's kind of trippy when people walk by, but whatever. I think it's nice, and it's nice to be outside and enjoy the nice day. So today I got a couple things I'd like to talk to you guys about. One is I was hit up this morning by someone. And they were, kind of coming to the realization that they wanted to be sober and how to go about that, and I, kind of went, gave them the condensed version of, my 4 steps that I kind of like preach that have helped me, which is, admitting it, that you're an alcoholic to yourself and others, to stop drinking legitimately, fill the void, and to know that it gets better. And I'm still at this point in my life that it's very humbling, and it's a massive compliment that anyone comes to me with that kind of advice, and I appreciate it, and I think it's kind of a testament to what sobriety can do for an individual. And so with that, though, there was a point at which he had said that, do you still go to meetings? And that, I think, right there is the kind of a big part of what I want to get at, is how it is just kind of assumed that if you're trying to get sober, then you should be doing it through AA or some kind of a program. And I want to let you know that if you are the kind of person that you feel like this is more of a solo journey, or something that you would like to at least attempt to tackle yourself, that it's absolutely possible, and that there's many different ways to, hit sobriety head on. I think that just because you're doing it without a program or without AA or a 12-step or some other form doesn't necessarily mean you're doing it alone. You're just doing it in a different method, because when you admit to yourself and to everyone else around you, those people are immediately incorporated into what you're going through. And you should definitely practice communicating what you're going through, and hopefully you have a couple close friends or family members that those are the people that you want to kind of convey what you have going on in your mind. And if you're having a particularly hard time dealing with something, that's when you just are open and communicate about it, because a lot of the times the things that you keep bottled up inside your mind, when you pull them out, it kind of takes away some of the power that they have. Especially hearing it rather than just thinking it, you are able to kind of digest it in a different way as well. A big point of this video too is I want to let you know something, that you can absolutely do this. You have come to this realization that alcohol is destroying your life, and you want it to be different. And that's the key word right there, is the want. If you have the want to get sober and for your life to be different, then that is the seed that will blossom into the flower that is your new life. So if you have a genuine desire to get sober and for your life to be better, then that is all you need to get started. And I think first and foremost, the other ways typically will let you, or at least tell you, that you have to admit that you are powerless to alcohol, right? And the reason why I don't like that is because I feel like the entire transformation is based on power, but it's based on the basis that you are taking power back, that you are gaining power. So you are powerful over alcohol. You are not powerless to it. You're not this victim from alcohol, because ultimately alcohol isn't doing anything. Alcohol is sitting there in a bottle or in a can. It's just sitting. It's a fucking liquid, It's you that decide to open it and put it inside your body, So you can't really blame the substance. You are the one that's making the effort to physically go get it and consume it. So the alcohol is not necessarily the problem as much as your decision making is, and you're the one that makes your own decisions. So if and by saying that we're powerless to something makes us kind of a victim. And I don't think that that's a healthy way to live, feeling victimized, because you always feel like something is being done to you. I think you should take back the control and the power in your life, and know that you are powerful over alcohol. You do not need it, and you have the power to walk away from it and to make your life a much better life, a life that is worth living and something that you're proud of. I think a lot of people think that because they've been an alcoholic, or they've been kind of running from that fact for a long time, or if they've been drinking for a long time, that they're in this mess, and they're like, well, how am I going to get out of it if I put myself in here? Like, well, you are really the writer and the director of your entire life, and if you did all the work to get you in there, you can definitely do all the work to get you out. I think the analogy of let's say you're going up for I recently started doing volume squats, so I'm doing reps of 15, which is, it's taxing, and you're kind of like, oh my god, you get to like the 8th one and you're like, fuck this, I can't do this. But that's the thing, is that you can. You just have to try harder and know that, like, you just put yourself through the motions of doing it, and don't overthink it. Don't sit there and think about, God, how much my legs are hurting and this sucks and I want it to stop and why did I even start doing this? You don't think. You pull the thinking aspect and be like, I'm a robot and I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to squat, squat, squat until I literally physically cannot do that anymore. It's the same thing with quitting drinking. You're like, I literally am I'm physically going to refrain from putting it into my face. Just like a robot that has been programmed not to allow it to go in. And like I say, where the body goes, the mind will follow, And by betting on yourself and constantly, day by day, not drinking, you start to grow the confidence and the belief that you're the one that's making this happen, and that you have the powers and the abilities that you need to make this happen. And that's why filling the void is so important. I don't want to go too much into about that, because I've done that to a large degree in a lot of my other videos. Another thing I really wanted to touch base on is, I don't know if you guys have actually looked back at my first videos on my channel. There's a reason why I have not deleted them, and I think it's very important to have the juxtaposition to see where I've come from and where I am now. If you guys haven't checked them out, click back to some of my earlier videos. I think one of literally the first ones is How Drunk Can Guile Get, and it's showing me drink this bottle of vodka through the whole night. You don't need to watch all of it. I mean, there's just me being a drunken idiot, but the point is to show where I've come from, and those were years ago. So and I'd been drinking. I got harder and harder and harder into all my drinking, and I think the last video I posted was some stupid video where it titled How to Make Beer, right? And then the next one was me day one journey into sobriety. But I leave those up there to constantly always remind myself, where we come from. I make a lot of lifting analogies, and I think one that works for me to kind of remember, even in your progress, don't forget where you were, and where we all start, is that, you can be working out for years, let's say like 5 years, and then you look at someone who is getting under the bar to squat for the first time, and they're not getting to the proper depth, and they don't know to keep the bar tracked over the midline of the foot, and all these kind of things, and it's easy to kind of scoff at that, but you forget so quickly that that was you. You were that same person, and all you wanted was to get better, and that's not something that someone should be made fun of for, and so always just remember where you came from. And that's why I let people know when they talk to me about like my sobriety and my progress and everything, that I'm just like you. I've just been doing it for longer. That's it, but I was the same fucking dude that was, spending money I shouldn't be spending, and blowing rent money and bill money, and drinking and shitting blood, and fucking calling people at 3 a.m, what's up, dude? They'd be like, I'm fucking sleeping, dude. I'm married with kids, and just, I was a fucking loser. I was a jackass for a long fucking time. And it's, it's gotten to this point now where I love who I am, and I really enjoy the respect that is given to me, because not only do I give that back, but I think through my actions it commands respect, because there's a certain caliber of individual that I allow into my life now. And if you don't meet those standards, then I'm just not going to give you any time in my life. So my time is very valuable at this point, and you'll start realizing through time that you have value. And ultimately, you should know that, is that even in this weakened state, if this is your first day of sobriety, or this is your first week or first month or first year, just know that you absolutely have value. We all have value. But it's up to you how much that value is worth. How much time and effort do you put into yourself to make your value worth more, you know? And think of it like someone else you have in your life that you love very much for and care for and you look up to. Think about all the things about that person that makes you look up to them and care for them. You know, they're probably doing quite a bit with their life, you know. The more you do, the more people will look at that as well, you know. And so ultimately, just I want you guys to have confidence in yourselves and just know that this is absolutely obtainable. And once again, if AA is what you want to seek out and it works for you and you enjoy going to the meetings and you enjoy those groups and it helps you stay sober, then go do it. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not trying to vilify them for as much as it didn't work for me. If it works for you, perfect. Go do that. But for those of you that it doesn't appeal to or you don't want to do it, I'm letting you know that within the power of your mind, you can make this entire life whatever you want. It's a totally subjective life. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. But if you know that your continual drinking is making you hate this life, then fucking stop it. Because you know it's never going to make it better. So stop doing it. Lastly, I wanted to share this little bit with you. A talent agent, or not a talent agent, but a lady who works for a company through ABC. Let's put it that way. She has recently hit me up saying that she would like me to be on a show on ABC about people making amends with their past. And the premise is when you lock eye contact for like 3 solid minutes with another individual, that a lot more can be said and conveyed than words. Like words sometimes get in the way, and then at the end of those 3 or 5 minutes, whatever it was, then you can see if you guys want to continue on a conversation or if you guys want to walk away or whatever. And I told her I would love to be on it, but unfortunately the linchpin to the whole thing is that I need someone that I have to make amends with from my past, like anyone that can fit in the spot. And I sat there for a while because she told me to get back to her, and I sat there and I thought and I thought, and I had my girlfriend try to help me out, and there was no one. There was no one in my life that I was walking around with this weight of regret on my mind and, you know, wishing what ifs or how I would have acted differently or anything, because when I did get sober, I did make all the amendments. You know, I went around, or sorry, not amendments. I said all my sorries, and I went through and I fixed I righted all my wrongs, and I thought it was a really cool problem to have. I mean, granted, it's going to keep me from getting on this show, but that's totally fine, because I'm a really happy individual with my life and where I'm at, and I'm unbelievably humbled that I even have as many people watching this as I do, you know. But I just thought that was just kind of a neat little thing that I wanted to share with you guys, that she stumbled upon my sobriety videos and saw the kind of transformation that I've gone through and wanted me to be a part of this television show. It was like for a pilot, but I just thought that was cool, and I'd share that with you guys. Anyway, you guys, please always remember that you absolutely have the power to do anything that you guys want to do in this world, and don't ever forget that. Stay sober. Please like, share, subscribe. Share this with anyone that you think it will help. And I sincerely always appreciate you guys watching my videos and giving a shit about what I'm doing. And hopefully you guys are, well on your way to getting to this kind of like peace of mind. And I know you are. So take care, and as always, stay sober.